TD Ryan Unleashed is brought to you by Scott Ziman, your State Farm Insurance agent in DeKalb. Call 815-748-3101 or stop by at 2587 Sycamore Road, Suite D in DeKalb. Like a good neighbor, Scott Ziman and State Farm are there. Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more at 824 West Lincoln Highway in DeKalb. Don't forget Kids Eat for Free on Thursday. For delivery or pickup, go to pizzavilla.com or call 815-758-8116. Elder Care Services of DeKalb. Safe, secure, and supported. Helping you stay in home where you want to be. Call 815-758-6550 or stop in at 1701 East Lincoln Highway in DeKalb or on the web at ecsdekalb.org. My Insurance Guy in Sycamore covers Medicare to auto care and everything in between. Stop by at 204 South Main Street in Sycamore. Call 815-899-0950 or online at myinsuranceguy.com. And welcome into TD Ryan Unleashed News Podcast number 32. As always, we got the oak tree from the news department, Dan Lynch with us. Dan, how you doing, my friend?
Happy winter.
Happy winter, yes. It certainly is upon us. And from the REACT group, we have the folks that's called the Responsive Engagement Activity Civic Talent. We have Cynthia with us right now. Cynthia, how you doing, my dear?
I'm doing okay. A little chilly, but
good. All right. Yeah, well, you've been out walking out there in the chilly. You want to talk about that, some of the... but tell us about the REACT group here in DeKalb. But you guys have had some events recently at Hopkins Park and a great turnout there. Tell us about REACT and how you got involved with REACT, please.
Oh, sure. Okay, so REACT is an Indivisible group. Indivisible is a national organization, and it is composed really of a lot of local groups. And so what's interesting is there are a number of large and very active groups in the Chicago area and in the suburbs and so on. But when you get out this far, we're kind of it. We're the Indivisible group in this area. So we draw people from a pretty broad radius around the DeKalb area.
Does it help to have the university in town? Does that bring more folks, you think, down?
Well, in a sense, we don't get a lot of students. It's hard to, colleges, schools in general are a little insular. They take care of their people within. Yeah,
right,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And so it's a little hard to break in there. But sorry, that might not have been the best expression. But
establish yourself there.
Yes, exactly. But however, this locale, DeKalb, and the DeKalb Sycamore area is a little bit of a liberal mecca, really, because of all of the professors and all of the university goings on and so on, in an otherwise very conservative rural county. So yes and no.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things you guys reacted to was back in January 6th, of course. And I want to say this administration is rewriting the history book, but in terms of they have their take on what happened on January 6th. So you guys, tell us about that one. Now, you guys got together. Was that right? Do I have that right?
Yeah, which January 6th? Because we did something this January as well. But
well, I thought every year you've acknowledged the fact that after January 6th, of course, when the Capitol was stormed, yes.
Yes. So that was just such an event. And the way the history of that gets rewritten by people in important positions, it's really quite disturbing. So, yes, we were out there every January 6th through the Biden administration saying, don't forget this. This was important. That was an insurrection. This January 6th, the Trump administration, bombed Venezuela and kidnapped the man acting as president of that country. And there's an awful lot of discussion about whether he was a legitimate president or not. But in any event, there was bombing and there was kidnapping. And, that was a unilateral decision that the executive branch made that did not, consult Congress. It's very disturbing.
It is.
It's not a comment on Maduro and the legitimacy or illegitimacy of his rule in Venezuela. It's a comment on the laws, the rules, the regulations of this country, and then also international law. So that was really serious. And so we had a rapid response rally on January 6th about that.
Oh, it just happened to be on January 6th.
It
okay.
did, yeah.
Well, ironic there.
Yeah.
And tell us about the turnout. I think you were at Hopkins Park, right? You've also been on Peace Corner, as it's called, the first in Lincoln Highway. Tell us about the turnout you've been getting.
Well, for years. So REACT came into existence as a subcommittee of DeKalb stands, and then it became its own group. But we started in 2019. So we've been around for a while, and a lot of our rallies, we were holding them on Peace Corner there. So it's the corner of North First Street.
Yeah,
and
for folks
Lincoln
that
Highway.
First and Lincoln Highway there, and where the clock is, of course, and the tank down on the tank
That's
is there.
right. And if we're using the park, that's actually called Memorial Park. But most of the time, we're just gathered on the sidewalk out there. So then it's just on the corner. It got the name Peace Corner because there was an interfaith group who responded to 9/11 asking that
Friday nights at 5 o'clock.
That's right. That's right. Asking for a peaceful response. Exactly. So that's where the nickname came from. Unfortunately, when we have events on Peace Corner, sometimes people go out to Peace Road.
Oh,
Understandable, but you're not going to find us out there.
but you got the good traffic flow there. That's for sure. That's
Yeah,
that
much
corner.
better, yeah.
But I was going to mention, and we'll talk about it later. But there's also Exploring Issues, DeKalb County Democrats, 350 Kishwaukee, and DeKalb Migrant Aid as well. So, are you familiar with some of those groups? But like you said, there's a lot of groups around here.
Oh yeah, so we were doing our rallies on Peace Corner. That's what we were doing for years and years. And then in the beginning of the second Trump administration, I was noticing that the rallies were happening. They were gathering hundreds of people. I mean, we used to, if we got a couple dozen people, we felt really good.
Right, sure.
Okay, so I was saying, hey, wait a minute, there are hundreds of people here. So I noticed Anna Wilhelmi, who is the chair of the Democratic Party of DeKalb County, out there with the bullhorn at these very large events. And I went up to her, I said, hey, Anna, you want to coordinate together for these rallies? And she said, yes. So, I said, all right, who else should we invite? Who else is included? Who else wants to be planning these large things? So we've created a coalition of local groups, including all the groups that you've mentioned.
Okay.
DeKalb Migrant Aid, DeKalb Mutual Aid. We now have DART involved, DeKalb Area Rapid Response Team. There's now a new group, Esperanza Latina. There are a lot of different groups, and everyone sends a representative to the planning meetings, and we plan these very large events, and we've completely outgrown Peace Corner. So we've moved out to Route 23 in front of Hopkins Park, in front of like where the tennis
courts are.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. And so, golly, the first No Kings rally, we had, I don't know, maybe 800 people.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, the second No Kings rally, we had somewhere around 1,200.
Okay.
12 to 15 maybe. I mean, it's been a lot, right? It's been amazing. Those rallies, though, they're fantastic. They're amazing, and I have to give a lot of credit to Anna for what she pulls together. But we have live music, we have speakers, we have information tables. All of those organizations have information tables. So if you
I think you had a food drive too, didn't you?
we collect for local food pantries. We have a food truck because we're gathering usually at noon. And it's lunchtime. It's a fabulous event. And, it has the feel of almost like, not a celebration because we're there for pretty serious stuff, but people, when so much is changing and happening so quickly, sometimes you can feel a little alone. You can feel like, I can't deal with all this. And it's so nice to be out there with, literally hundreds and hundreds of other people, like-minded
people, yeah.
It's peaceful. There's music. We're having a good time. Everyone is congenial. It's really, really very nice.
We're going to talk to you some more about that. I want to talk to you about what you feel you're accomplishing doing that. But let's do the news. So let's take a look at the news, and then we'll start back talk about React some more. What do you got there, Dan?
3 people were hurt in a 2-vehicle wreck yesterday morning. According to the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office, just before 9 a.m., a 68-year-old Esmond woman was heading east on Baseline Road, approaching the 5 Points Road intersection. She apparently ran the stop sign, collided with a northbound Silverado pickup that had a snowplow attached. Her Equinox rolled several times. She had to be extricated. She was taken to Javon Bay Hospital in Rockford with minor injuries. The 28-year-old driver of the pickup from Kirkland, a male, he was taken to St. Anthony's with serious injuries. His passenger, a 30-year-old male from Kingston, was taken to KCH with minor injuries. The driver of the Equinox was cited for disobeying a stop sign and failing to reduce speed to avoid a crash.
Oh, so it wasn't a snowplow then. I thought that when I saw that on Facebook, I thought it was a snowplow, but it was just a pickup truck with a plow on there. Huh?
Right. It wasn't a sanctioned
Yeah, a big old orange.
plow
Okay.
from
all
a
right.
municipality.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Cynthia, you been out driving in the snow? Are you a snow driver, or do you? I tend to take it easy myself. I tend to leave that
I prefer not
for
to
others.
drive in the snow, to be honest with you. But,
That's a good
but
rule.
if I have to, I do, just slowly.
Now, wind chills could hit 35 below zero in northern. You know, I talked to my wife about the folks on the news always trying to scare us all the time. And I kept, the lowest number they can give is minus 35 is the wind chill. But I guess it's only going to be a high of 3 tomorrow. We're recording this on Thursday. But Dan, of course, you homeschool, so your kids are home anyway. But I want to ask Cynthia something.
I mean, they have wrestling, piano. I mean,
So homeschoolers never have a snow day, do they?
well, that's true.
All right, because there's an article I saw where people are saying, well, why not give the kids a snow day? Because now they have the in-house learning. So even though it's going to be too cold to go to school tomorrow.
Oh, well, but if you're homeschooling and there's a snow day, you can do science outside.
Oh.
Right? You can just turn it into a whole other thing.
Yeah, we throw buckets of water in the air and then it freezes.
Oh, have you done it?
Yeah,
Okay. Have you homeschooled? Or
Yes.
Yes? Okay. And how do you feel? Because the kids do seem to be ahead. I know when they compare the homeschool kids with the kids at usually the public schools, the homeschoolers are well ahead at that point.
Well, I'll tell you what, years and years ago, I was living in Massachusetts, and we were out, the homeschoolers were going out, we were hiking, and there was a group of students from a local area high school, and they were just talking to someone who turned out he was a recruiter for Harvard.
Oh, my.
All right, so he's a recruiter for Harvard, and they said to him, these were school students, what do we need to do to be noticed, to get into Harvard? And he said, well, honestly, really, at this point, you need to be a homeschooler.
Wow.
That was a long time ago.
Wow,
but,
that's
yeah.
great. And we want to mention the Universalist Church here. Folks that don't know that, they're just a great group of people that have a warming center now. So you can go there to warm up. Of course, you can always go during the day to the libraries, various libraries, always a good place to go. But again, this will be dangerous temperatures, and we urge you to get there. Again, the Universalist Church did a great job. I don't know if you know about that, Cynthia. They started, I think, last year or 2 years ago to have a warming center overnight. And obviously, weather like this, I mean, this is life-saving stuff here.
For sure.
So thank God for them. So appreciate that. All right, Dan, what else you got for news, my friend?
A Hinckley home burned on the night of the 17th, leaving the home unlivable. It happened on East Miller Avenue. The Hinckley Fire Protection District says crews were called at around 9:15 p.m. for a fire in the attic amid frigid temps.
Oh, imagine fighting a fire in this weather, boy.
Yeah, crews found smoke billowing from the eaves. They got all the people out. Several cats were rescued. One cat died. Another was unaccounted for. Authorities say the nature of the fire is not suspicious. The cause is still being pinpointed.
I saw a video where a gentleman's dog was in the house burning and all the firemen were holding him back, and he powered right through them and went and got the dog. And I have a feeling I would do the same thing. My dog is 15 years old, and I think if my house was on fire, I might venture in there. But this lady lost one of her cats, though, huh? Sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, cats are real smart.
Yeah, I thought they'd get out on their own, but
And I'm sure maybe it was the smoke.
yeah. Okay, God bless them. So we're talking to our friends from React. Cynthia is joining us here, and of course the React group here locally here in DeKalb. Now, Indivisible, I always remember that when I said the Pledge of Allegiance to the kid, I always said invisible, and my dad would always correct me. It was Indivisible. But tell us, that's a separate group, you said, right?
Well, Indivisible is the national organization, and they started in the immediate aftermath of the first time that Trump won the election.
Okay.
And it was started by two people. They're married to each other, Leah Greenberg and Ezra Levin. And they are just wonderful. They're so smart. They had earlier in their careers been legislative aides.
Oh, so they know what's happening. Okay.
Yeah, and they really do. They are extraordinarily good about picking the issue that's going to move and not wasting time on the issues that aren't. Right? They're very, very good at that. And they're very good at strategy. They know which levers to pull to make things happen. They know what to tell us to do to make our elected officials move forward. Right? So they are very, very good. And the organization has grown enormously. So we've been part of it from the very beginning, and it's quite different now. I was just at a meeting this afternoon. Ezra and Leah host this meeting every Thursday afternoon at 2 and local time. And there are thousands. I mean, thousands and thousands of people on this call.
But does it get gray there? Because I remember, like, with Black Lives Matter, then nobody knew who was speaking for the organization or not. Or, for instance, locally here, React, are you the spokesperson, or is there a main spokesperson for React?
Indivisible is organized so that the local groups are autonomous.
Okay, very good.
Right. And I personally, just my organizing style, I like to take direction from them. Sometimes there'll be another organization. I get emails from all kinds of people, and sometimes there'll be something going on that I think is important, and I'll bring it to the group and we'll take action on it. But I like to take my direction from them because they're really smart. You know,
Okay.
they've got-
Well, let me play the devil's advocate. Now, when you go out there, what do you hope to accomplish? Because there's a growth. I think this is from you. This event is intended to be a peaceful statement of support for our democracy, our rights, and our freedoms here in the United States, which sounds great, too. But, I mean, what is there a call to action other than calling your congressman or calling your senator? What are you telling people to do, and what do they take away from this as they drive by you and they see your sign?
Right, and they honk and we all say, yeah.
Right, yes. That's with them.
It's really a lot of fun. So the rallies are, in a sense, they are an end unto themselves. The three largest rallies protests in modern history have been hands off, No Kings 1 and No Kings 2. So this is a very visible, very dramatic statement to the powers that be that the governed aren't liking this. They're not liking what's going on. Here we are. There are millions and millions and millions of us, and there are even more. And each time we do this, there are even more. So it's a very visible statement. It's an important statement. It's important that we do this. It's important that people show up for this reason. But in addition to that, we also have the information tables and the different organizations that people can join. So if you join React, if you sign up and get our emails, we meet a couple times a month. And after each meeting, I send out notes from that meeting. And in those notes are half a dozen actions that you can take.
Okay.
Sometimes it's phone calls, sometimes it's letter writing, sometimes it's email, sometimes it's gathering somewhere, sometimes it's talking, just conversation. There are various different types of actions that we do. So we're a very action-oriented group. Indivisible is a very action-oriented group, and React follows that lead.
All right, very good. We'll talk some more about that. But Dan, what else you got for news, my friend?
And I used to live in District 3 in Colorado, and it was D3 Indivisible. That's what they call it there.
Oh, did it really? Yeah.
I covered them when I was working in the
Okay. Wow. Cool.
So you could be D, 14?
Yes, really good.
Cortland village leaders are contemplating, TD, a special use permit for another solar energy facility.
Oh, no.
This is with Solar Stone Partners. It'd be along Route 38. The proposal includes plans for a 50-foot setback for the neighbors, their property lines, panels no taller than 10 feet, and a 6-foot fence enclosure. They haven't taken action on it. They're just talking about it, but the application must include a site plan, and village leaders will revisit the plan at their next meeting.
Well, I just saw the news last night, and Naperville has voted down a data center there. So they don't want it there because it's too close to where people live. And, of course, ours got kind of shoved through here. I don't know if you were involved with that, Cynthia, at all. Were you there at the meeting, the data center meeting? Because there's, people spoke for 2 hours, but then they just kind of rammed everything through and waived the second reading. And I was a little disappointed in that. I know there's a lot of benefits financially to the data center, but we talked to Jeff Kiker, the representative, was here just last week talking about that. And there are a lot of financial benefits, but where do you draw the line? I use the term, we paid paradise and put up a parking lot of the old song in the 60s, but it feels like that sometimes.
Yeah, it does. I think it's just so important for city leaders to, yes, the short-term monetary considerations are important, but I think it's really important to think about 7, 8 generations out. What is this going to do later? And I think with the data centers, it's not clear what the harm might be.
Right.
With the ones that use too much water and electricity, and that's a whole issue. But this new one that we approved, it seemed to have all those questions answered. But then you just wonder, well, wait, what are we not seeing? What do we not know yet? It's a little scary.
It is a little scary, but that's it for another time. We'll talk about that. District 427, they had a missing school board member. Somebody had to step down, but now they have Nate Russell, who will be a future guest here on our podcast. But Nate, who has 2 children attending Sycamore Schools, was sworn in his new role in public on Tuesday night. They're in a special ceremony at the school board meeting in District Administrative Building. And you talk about that, Cynthia. It's great to see people stepping up. When these openings come up, that people want to take that responsibility and step up and do it.
Mm-hmm. Schools are so important. The public schools are so important. I could talk forever about the public school. Here's the thing. In the United States of America, as long as I've been around, all kids get a free and appropriate public education. That's been the law. That's been the rule. And we have the right to homeschool. We have the right to go to private school. Not all countries do, but we do. And it's so important that everyone get a good education so that they can grow up and get a job. This is really important. So educating people who have documentation, who don't have documentation, who don't speak English yet, who have different customs, we need to we need to educate everyone, and we need to educate everyone well, so as to support the economy, so as to have working communities that function properly.
I never thought about, Dan, you homeschool and a curriculum. Do you go off of some national chart or some state chart, or how do you guys pick what you teach?
Well, the curriculum, we do use Homeschool Connections right now, but for my oldest kid, who's definitely going to college, he's suited for that.
Right.
We're switching to a curriculum based in California, which is $7,000 a year, TD. So each kid is different. My
Sure.
son Joe is a voracious reader, and he likes philosophy, and he
Don't let him be a philosophy major.
for my other, my daughter, she wants to get a job like immediately.
Okay.
They're different.
Sure.
But yeah, we go by curriculum.
Okay.
We use a curriculum.
All right.
That is
I never asked you that. Yeah.
Try to be academically rigorous, because like Cynthia said, my kids are going to need a paycheck.
Yes, right, exactly. And also, while we're talking about School District 428, the board talks about a 5-year plan. Basically, a lot of facility improvements. Some of the stuff they've done, the heating, and they've done roofs, HVAC, safety line type of things. We are now able to shift our focus to look more at things like summer work coming up there as well. So again, the money being spent by the school district, and of course, we have the new school and a lot of money being spent by the school district. But what else? What more important thing to spend money on than the kids' education? All right. You got one more, Dan? What else you got?
Oh, yeah. DeKalb city leaders approved a couple of zoning projects. First of all, Safe Passage received approval for an amended final development plan for a plat at 217 Franklin to expand its emergency shelter and counseling facilities. Developments include increased parking lot and utility easements. Specialized education of Illinois was approved to rezone, or let me start this again. Specialized Education of Illinois was approved to rezone property at 315 North 6th and operate a private therapeutic day school serving up to 100 kids. And the city also approved a final development plan for 145 Fisk Avenue, a plat there to redevelop the former St. Mary's Hospital into apartments.
Finally, yes.
Including fire access and utility easements and some landscaping. Those might be some small apartments, but they might be quaint and
Yeah,
lovely.
that's a great location, really. I tell you, you were nodding your head, Cynthia, because I've been hoping that somebody would do something with that building for years, and now finally something's happening there.
Yep.
So it's a great location. It's got good bones, as they say. The Sycamore Escape Room, you ever been there? Sycamore, the Escape Club?
No, but I was just reading about it.
They're selling their business, but they're not closing.
Okay.
The Escape Room, which is at 1170 DeKalb Avenue, is owned by the Bungie family. You think they would have sort of a Bungie event? No. They keep the business going. They said anyone interested in investing in the business should contact the Sycamore Escapers at gmail.com. Sycamore Escapers at gmail.com. They said the other games, Prison Break, Quest for Thrones, and Operation Rogue Agent. Now, my grandkids dragged us over. Did you ever do the escape
No,
room?
never.
And there's too much thinking involved. I'm like, this is supposed to be fun, but the grandkids figured it out. There's over $100,000 invested in the room so far, and they hope to come up with Pirates Plunder and Skull Manor if they hit the money. So if you were talking about a different job, or maybe this could be the way to go.
Would like that.
Do they like stuff like that? Have you done
Pirates
that?
Plunder?
Yeah, where you go in and you do the escape room?
That's when I look over and say, hey, I'm going to stay home, but you kids go have a good
You go
time.
have fun, though.
My adult son enjoys that a great deal, and his friends, yeah.
We got to see Jerry Seinfeld. My wife got tickets to Jerry Seinfeld last Sunday at the Paramount, and he was talking about his kids and how he'll let them decide where they want to go. He goes, "I'll go anywhere you want, or you guys kids want. So I can only I can complain about it later." That's what he said. He goes, "No matter where they go, Jerry finds something that'll go wrong there." But of course, there were protesters there. Now that was interesting. There was protesters outside the Paramount Theater protesting Jerry Seinfeld, my boy. But it was interesting to see that. But they were very calm and everything, and they didn't stick around until afterwards because it was so cold outside. They booked up there. I'm sure your group would not do that. All right, what do you got? Another news story, Dan? Or are we done? What do you got?
Just the city of DeKalb approved the purchase of 4 Dodge Durango police vehicles.
All right.
And all of the aftermarket upfitting, TD. They get a spoiler and all this stuff.
Sure.
Sirens. Well, I don't know about a spoiler. No ashtrays. Total cost is not to exceed $266,000. This includes a 2024 model and 3 2026 models.
Yeah, because they are hard on those cars, that's for sure. I mean, one shift over, next shift takes over. Rooted for Good. I don't know, Cynthia, if you know about that group there, Dan Kenny and the group, just their maintenance job. They always go around. I just think it's wonderful that they go to different places. They go to Balta, Hinckley, University Village Apartments in DeKalb, Cortland Lions Club. Bringing the food to the people where they need it. It's just a wonderful group. They really is. And how about how they've grown? It's
They
amazing.
have grown tremendously, and they've got they're building a new building, yes?
Yes.
A whole complex.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've really done a long way there. I want to let people know that next week we'll have Daniel Van Tilburg will be our podcast of the week. Daniel is running for the District 5 County Board seat. 24, Dan and I were talking about how many members, the county board members there are. But he's running for that seat. The two Democratic opponents. And the following week, we'll hear from his opponent, Devin Wilcox of Cortland. And I know he's involved with the immigration group, right?
DART,
Yeah.
DeKalb Area Rapid Response Team. Yeah.
DART. Okay, very good.
Yep.
All these acronyms, I got to keep track. All right, Dan. Now, we also do community calendar here. We like to talk about what's happening in the community. Obviously, Cynthia, you guys are a big part of that. Do we have something coming up now for you guys? Or what's on the agenda?
Okay, well, this is going to be really anticlimactic, but here's the deal. No Kings 3 is coming, but I can't give you the date.
Okay.
They told us today at the meeting. We'll tell you next week. So next week, we'll have a date.
All right, well, you can either come here or let us know. We'll
Okay.
get the word out here.
Will do.
Let's take a look at the community calendar brought to you by our friends at Stagecoach Players Theater. You can always go to stagecoachplayerstheater.com. Call over at 815-758-1940. Just let them know what show you want to see. If nobody's there, just leave a message and they will get back to you. Gypsy is coming February 12th through the 22nd at the beautiful Stagecoach Theater. Have you been to the Stagecoach Theater, Cynthia?
Yes, I've been in some shows there.
Oh, have you really?
I have.
Oh, good for you. What was the last show? What was the last show you were in?
I think probably The Curious Savage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know about that group. What a wonderful group that is.
They're tremendous.
And again, so that's
Wonderful work.
February 12th through the 22nd. Later on, with our news quiz, our podcast news quiz, we're going to give away 2 tickets to Gypsy. And Cynthia, you do not qualify, so I'm sorry. But 5 things to do here in DeKalb County. One is the Bad Moms Comedy Tour in Sandwich. The Sandwich Opera House. We were talking about that last week. Cynthia, you been up to the Sandwich Opera House? It's just a beautiful building.
We went on a homeschool field trip many years ago.
Oh, did you?
Yes, it is.
Speaking
It
of
is
homeschool, there you
gorgeous.
go.
Yeah.
So do you know about the Bad Moms Comedy Tour?
I don't, but
I
it
do
sounds
not either.
hysterical.
That sounds like a lot of fun. That'll be Saturday night. You still get tickets for that. The Fire and Ice Festival in Sycamore. The Sycamore Community Center will host their annual Fire and Ice from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday, January 24th. Fun for the whole family. Chili cook-off. Tasting tickets are $10. And hopefully lots of fires to keep everybody warm because that's going to be, it is called Fire and Ice after all. John Miller's. Now, my stepson has the picture, the poster of, when the day the music died with Buddy Holly and J.B. Bopper and has that original poster, not the original poster, a copy of it. But that's what this show is, John Miller's Winter Dance Party. Dance to the music of the 50s, artists like Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper. Hello, baby. At the tribute concert, 3 p.m. Sunday. You get more information there, but that should be a great show. A lot of old people like ourselves. I like how they do it, the matinees for we older folks. They do it on a Sunday afternoon. Beatles sing-along. Beatle fans want to miss the free sing-along at the DeKalb Public Library, which we're in right now. That'll be Saturday at 3:30. Lyrics, trivia, and beverages will be included at the event. That could be a little painful. I think people think they know how to sing, and then that'll be a little dangerous. And then catch a classic movie, Thunderball, at the Egyptian Theater. They'll show the 1965 movie Thunderball as part of the Countdown to the Oscar film series. Now, was that a James Bond movie? What was that? Do you know Thunderball?
Oh, I wouldn't know that.
65? I think that sounds like the first James Bond, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to research that.
I've never seen a James Bond movie.
Oh, come on. And how long you been a member of the Communist Party? How's that working out for you?
My British cousins were just appalled.
I'm shocked. I am shocked. And then we also want to mention the Rocky Horror Picture Show is coming Friday, February 6th to the Egyptian Theater. Have you dialed up for that, Cynthia?
I do not get dressed up for that, but I have been. It is quite something with the live performers there.
Yes. And people getting up on stage. They call it shadow staging or whatever they call that. That should be a lot of fun. So, again, thanks to our friends at Stagecoach Players Theater. Please check them out and help them out, too, as they've done so many things for the community. They're awfully collecting food and things. Sports, we always take a quick look at sports. Want to mention a couple of, we're going to have the, now, did you think in your age, would you be around, Cynthia, I think we're about the same age, that you see girls wrestling? Girls wrestling team in DeKalb is the hottest thing in the area right now.
Well, good for them.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So we're going to have a couple of the girls from the wrestling team on in a couple of weeks there. But the young girl,
That'll be fun.
Lazera Gomez Guevara, the DeKalb freshman had to wrestle 5 times to claim the 105-pound title at the Batavia Girls Wrestling Tournament. She walked away with 5 pins in the tournament's most outstanding wrestler. So congratulations to Lazera. And then also the Barbs took 6th place. The Sycamore boys basketball team, Marcus Johnson scored his 1,000th career point against Ottawa, so congratulations to him. And on the Sycamore girls team, Quinn Carrier helped Sycamore girls scoring 15 points to reach 1,000 points for her as well. And, of course, that's a big deal, scoring 1,000 points in a high school career. And how about the 2 kids from Sycamore did it?
So, wow, congratulations to them. That's
great
fantastic.
to see that, yeah. All right, now as we try to make this like the morning show, and we used to have to charge at the radio station. We would charge people to read obituaries, and we like to just do it here because there's so many wonderful people in this area. You might even know this gentleman, Aaron Shriver. Aaron was a graduate of Sycamore High School, attended Kishwaukee College. Aaron was deployed at First Student Inc., DeKalb, for 25 years. His passion for 20 years was his on-stage and backstage work at the Stagecoach Players Theater of DeKalb. Aaron was known far and wide as the humorist of the Shriver family. Do you know this gentleman?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, but again, just we talk about the theater, and here's the gentleman who gave 25 of his years to that. And then we have Deborah Norris. Deborah had 4 younger brothers. And I bring this up because my sister had 4 younger brothers. I'm one of 4 younger brothers, and we gave our sister, we apologize whenever we see her. And it says here in the obit, she had 4 younger brothers, Stephen, Charles, Robert, and Michael, who were not always nice, but they turned out well enough. She was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 14, but she didn't let that stop her from graduating, enjoying her life. She married David Norris in 1981, had their child Matthew. She graduated Kishwaukee Community College, associate's degree, 25 years at the Sycamore Public Library, working at the reference desk. Her son believed that she could find any answer to any question he might ask. So I bet a lot of people knew Deborah working there at the Sycamore Library, too, because the people that work here are just wonderful here at the DeKalb Library. This family supported each other with love, compassion, and no small amount of sarcasm. So again, that's just like my family, because we were a very sarcastic family. And then finally, Bruce Pekka. A lot of people in DeKalb will know Bruce Pekka. Bruce was born in DeKalb, met the love of his wife Glenda. Together, they devoted a joyful and enduring partnership for 55 years of marriage. 34 years he taught physical education at DeKalb Middle School, retiring in 2001. I know my stepkids probably had him. He was proud and a passionate coach, leading football, baseball, and basketball teams for DeKalb schools. An influence extended far beyond the gym. He shaped young people with a steady guidance, humor, and belief in hard work. You guys were just talking about getting a job. Well, he instilled that in his kids. Here's the thing, very interesting, Dan. He was a standout pitcher at Gage Park High School in Chicago, where he led his team to the city championship at Wrigley Field. His talent earned him an athletic scholarship at Northern Illinois University. In 1964, he set the single-season ERA record with a .76 ERA. Now, I don't know, Cynthia, you know about ERAs in baseball pitches. Wow. A good one is like 2 or 2.5 or 3. He had a .76, still a record, a mark that still stands today. At 17-year-old, he was offered a professional contract to pitch for the Chicago White Sox, but doesn't say what happened after that. But a tremendous man, and I know coaches say, I lost my dad at a young age, and my coaches were like my father, and they really step in and fill that role, Yeah. So that's good. God bless them. So we'd like to do the obituaries there, too. Now, something else that we do like that we do morning show is we do a news quiz, or in this case, a podcast news quiz. We like to give stuff away. So like we said, we have 2 tickets to go see Gypsy, the latest. Do you know the Gypsy? Have you seen Gypsy? I don't know. Do you know Gypsy?
As a movie.
Okay, this is the musical now that they're putting on at the theater. So we got 2 tickets for Gypsy. That's coming again on February 12th. And then we have a deluxe car wash from Ralph's Full Service Car Wash and Detail Center. Why do it yourself when you can take it to Ralph's? They're at 1820 Mercantile Drive in Sycamore. And our friends at Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more. Matter of fact, they're getting ready to celebrate their 70th anniversary. Pizza Villa has been around for 70 years. And just a great, great story there. John Finn, of course, who supports this show, is one of our sponsors. Just a great man. You head over to Pizza Villa on occasion?
I have.
All right, good for you.
Delicious pizza.
All right. So Dan's going to do that. But I want to let people know, for instance, I always forget that this date in history, the DeKalb County History Center. I don't mean to ask you so many questions, Cynthia, but have you been there to the DeKalb County History Center?
I have.
What a great place. Huh?
It is.
And another gem that we have here in DeKalb County. Well, they send this over. Of course, people get the midweek. They know they have this date in history, but these are separate. Just for us, they do this. DeKalb County Medical Society was formed on January 1868. They held their first regular meeting in DeKalb in January the following year. For more than a century, members of the society were responsible for major innovations in medical care and DeKalb County. And thankfully, Bobby Kennedy wasn't around. We're not going to go into that at all. John L. Beveridge, who is that? You're a good Illinoisan. You should know who that is. Cynthia Chance to Steal. Of Salmonok was inaugurated as governor of Illinois in January 1873. He was the 16th governor of Illinois and in history and served until January 1877. Yeah, there's a Beverage Road around somewhere. That's the only reason I know the beverage there. And finally, city officials expressed an interest in purchasing the DeKalb Post Office building at 4th and Grove Street. The city hoped to use the funds to better communities initiative to fund the acquisition. The building was remodeled into a senior center and a youth recreation center, and we know what happened with that building. They tore that thing down and put a Walgreens up to it. Were you around? Were you in town for that?
I was not, but my father-in-law was involved in that legal process.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to save the post office.
And if folks could see the bill, a picture of the building, just a beautiful building. I guess there was efforts to save it. I mean, we almost lost the Egyptian theater, right? I mean, thank God people stepped up to do that.
Yeah.
So a lot of good people in this area, that's for sure. All right, and I want to also let people know that the DeKalb Library is doing all kinds of special things for our 250th anniversary. The Dolly Parton Imagination Library celebration of this had that a coffee filter butterflies. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, making butterflies out of coffee filters. Ernest Hemingway, the voice of a lost generation, will be. Oh, that was already happened too. I probably should have read this ahead of time. But February, there's all kinds of events about presidents. I love reading about presidents, and it's funny. I'm reading James Madison's biography right now. And a lot of the stuff that's going on with Trump right now, it's amazing the power struggles with the Congress and the Senate and the president. And that was going on back when James Madison was around, too. So nothing new there. And tariffs was a big thing back then, whether tariffs were good or not. So because the farmers didn't want the tariffs, people in the city wanted the tariffs. Very interesting to read how our country has changed a lot, but still the same.
The more things change, the more they remain the same, right?
It's amazing, yeah. All right, so Dan, all those grab those prizes, the gift certificate to the car wash, 2 gift certificates to Pizza Villa, and 2 tickets to go see Gypsy coming at the Stagecoach Players Theater, if you can answer this.
City of DeKalb has approved the purchase of 4 police vehicles. Give me the make or model.
All right. And if you can do that, again, you can contact me at tdryan2001@yahoo.com, tdryan2001@yahoo.com. If you have the right answer, I will mail you those, and you have those 2 tickets for the play. There, you just have to show up. They'll have those on the row there for you. Birthdays, we want to wish some happy birthdays to folks. That would include Anna Standard of Monroe Center will have a birthday. What was that on the 24th? I keep losing track of the date. Rick Johnson will have a birthday. On the 24th, what is today?
It's the 22nd.
That's right. All right, so I got one there. And Brenda Lutzow of Sycamore will have a birthday on the 31st. Oh, and Chief David Bird of DeKalb will have a birthday on the 31st as well. Just an amazing guy. Chief's been on with us several times, and just an amazing dude. Just love. Do you know Chief Bird?
I do. He's wonderful.
Isn't he great?
Yeah.
So, again, wrapping things up, Cynthia, it's so wonderful having you here, and I think it's so great, when I was asking what you guys hope to accomplish, because, I think back to the Vietnam War. If you go back to the Vietnam War, we had the March on Washington. There was like, hey, we're all here. This is what we want, And I guess that's what it's going to take here to change things. It's
Yes. And the sort of the decentralized aspect of these No Kings events is very helpful. So we don't all have to go to D.C. We can have thousands and thousands of people, millions and millions of people all over the country, all over the world, actually.
Uh-huh.
These events are happening all over the world. Yep.
Well, it's great to see that. It's democracy in action. It's great to see people doing that. So now if they want to be part of React or help with you guys, how can they do that?
Oh, okay. Well, So if you come to one of our events, just find our table and tell somebody and, give us your email and we'll put you on the list and then you'll get all the information that you need. We do have a Facebook page. If you want to find our Facebook page, it's React, all caps, REACT, all caps, and then in lowercase letters, DeKalb.
Okay.
So search on Facebook, React DeKalb. And that is, we put all of our events on there. It's just a list of events. It's just events after event after event. So it's really, you really see who we are by looking at our Facebook page.
Now, we always talk about, starting local and then work your way up nationally. But again, locally, what do you guys want to do? Are you involved now with the primaries coming up? Is that something you guys get involved in? Or
I tell you what, we kind of let the League of Women Voters do that
in
this area because they're strong and they do that.
Right.
Voting registration and getting information from candidates and so on and so forth. So I will post, hey, the election's coming up. These are why primaries are important. I will do stuff like that on our Facebook page. But I'll tell you what we're doing right now. We're starting a little campaign. We're calling it the Conversation Campaign. It's just very, very simple, but I think it'll be powerful. The idea is when somebody you're walking around your block and a neighbor says, hi, how you doing? Or you're at work, somebody says, how you doing? They start the conversation. What I do all the time, what I always do is I say, oh, I'm fine. How are you? Right? That's what I do.
Right.
And I'm not. Renee Good was shot and killed by ICE agents in Minnesota. This is not okay. I'm not okay with this. So instead of, oh, I'm fine, thanks, say, you know what? I'm actually a little concerned that a protester was shot and killed by ICE agents. Say what it is, name it, and say what would be better, and what you hope would be better, and then ask the other person how they're doing. So we're encouraging people to actually have that conversation, to actually mention what you're concerned about, why it concerns you, what would be better, and then ask the other person, how are you doing? What's going on in your life? And then listen to what they have to say. I think we've lost the art of conversation to a certain extent. We've spent so much time on our electronics that we've lost it. And so I'd like us to start exercising it again, to start talking to each other, to engage in that. Because you know what the truth is? We agree on much more than we disagree on.
I totally agree with. I agree with that. Yeah, there's a great commercial for depression where the woman's holding up a smiley face for people to let them know, oh, everything's fine. But it's great, the people that just have a little conversation.
Yep.
It doesn't hurt at all.
Gentle, no judgment, nothing like that. But yeah.
And finally, let me ask you now, and this is a tougher question, but as an American right now, how do you feel? It's ironic that we're celebrating our 250th anniversary, and Dan and I have talked before. This is still an experiment. I mean, democracy. This is not like this is still kind of an experiment here, and it's some scary times in our experiment too. But I tell my wife that when all this was going on, that the American people will step up. The majority of the people will step up, and they always have. And we're seeing that now with these rallies and things. And not saying that they're right in every single thing here, but it's great to see Americans not just hiding their head. I read a book about Paris in 1936 when everybody knew what Hitler was doing. Hitler was coming, but everybody was like, it's fine. That doesn't affect me at all. So I'll be fine as long as it doesn't affect me. And then you wait till it gets closer and closer to you. So it's great what you're doing there. And how do you feel as an American? What's happening right now?
Well, it is at once both scary, but also to me, hopeful. So for me, the antidote here is to work, to organize, to engage other people, to give people something to do. I mean, the bad news is there's an awful lot that we need to do to preserve our democracy, to preserve the rule of law and the law and order and the Constitution. The good news is with so much to do, everybody can find something they enjoy. If you like making phone calls, make phone. If you don't, send emails, knock on doors, just have conversations with your neighbors. There's something for everybody to do. And when I spend my time organizing that to happen so that people can get engaged, I feel really good and I feel really hopeful. And I am surrounded by people who are working and trying and engaging. And all of us are talking to our friends and neighbors and getting those people excited and engaged. So I think there's a real opportunity here for people to understand the way in which democracy demands attention. It demands participation, and we need to do that.
All right. Let's leave it at that. Very well put, too. And again, you'll let us know when the new event is coming up, next event, and we'll let people know next week. Dan, we always give the oak tree the final word here in the program. What do you got for us?
I was just thinking about what Cynthia was saying earlier about conversation. We all put on the mask every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do it just to kind of get through the day.
Right.
With bosses that I've had over the years, we all put on the mask, and it's just kind of to ease the pain that living brings. If I could borrow a Bruce Springsteen lyric.
He just spoke out about Trump at one of his concerts, as a matter of fact.
Do you remember Bruce Springsteen, or were you too young?
No, I remember Bruce. He's not the boss. So to me, he's not the boss. He's not my boss. I never.
I like this.
I respect him as a songwriter. But again, you got the 6 kids growing up. I told Becky, I'm kind of glad that I'm at 66 years old. I'm kind of glad that I'm at the tail end of this, what's going on. But your kids are right in the midst of this going up. And so does that give you a different perspective on things?
I've thought that, but as you look at history, the world, there's always been problems.
Mm-hmm.
There's always been strife. I don't know if it's worse. I mean, shoot, in the 1400s, I think 2/3 of the world died. So I don't know. I don't have enough historical perspective to say that this is worse than it was in 1968 when my uncle was beat on the south side of Chicago. Just for being a Latino.
Uh-huh.
I just lack that perspective. I'll leave that to the brilliant.
Well, we had our friends from Hope Haven here 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about. I immediately thought of the Jesus Christ Superstar lyric, where there will be poor always struggling for survival. Think of the good things you got. But I guess there's always going to be people struggling, and they're poor people. But we can help those folks, right? We can step up the way Universal Church is doing, and I know the DeKalb Park Church is allowing folks to shower there. Just little things that help people to get back on their feet.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and there is a lot of good in the world. It just doesn't get reported.
There you go. Well, that's why we do the show. And Cynthia, we appreciate what you do. Give our respect to all the folks in your group there. Dan, always a pleasure. Take care of that family of yours. And Bears, we'll get them next year, but that was...
Well, yeah, go Seahawks.
And that's TD Ryan Unleashed News Podcast number 32.